All right, I'm going to keep going here a bit and we'll see where we go. Okay, add an adder accessor, an externally accessible attribute named color. And so what that allows me to do down here, the adder accessor is it works as if I had defined a funny method here called color equal. I'm going to comment this one out. And so down here now I can say my car dot color equals purple, which is kind of cool. This is thanks to adder accessor. Add a method named report color that returns the string I am purple, where purple is the value stored in color. Okay, we can do that. Def report color, and it says, what does it say? I am. What do you think goes in here if I want to read the value of that color that we set? Color. Like a local variable, or?
Just like that.
Okay, and so what is this actually looking for here when I say color in this method? What is it going to find?
Instance variable.
Well, if it was an instance variable, it would actually find, it would look like that, right? So if it's not an instance variable, what else could it be? Yeah, it could be the adder accessor, which is actually what? What does this do? It defines that, and it also defines it's actually going to find this method. It's going to find the method color, right? Because this is going to look up. Let me delete some stuff here. We'll look up the method color, which we define via adder accessor. There we go. Which we looked up via adder accessor. Okay. So we'll talk more about methods and stuff another day. The interesting thing here is because that adder reader, def color, all this does is return the value of the instance variable color. Then having this I am color here, because that's going to actually find that method, is actually synonymous with that. It's the same, doing the same thing effectively there, because what does the color method do? Well, it's the color method that was defined by our adder accessor. So it's actually just defining color and say add color there. So in effect, these two are actually the same in this current example. So save that for posterity. Okay, the bottom two lines. Okay, so we did that. We set the color to purple and we put the thing. All right, fine. We'll fill this in. So add an externally accessible attribute. Again, that means adder accessor. So I might say adder accessor for, what did it say? Wheel count. Wheel count. And then add a line at the bottom, setting it to 18. So I'm going to have to now say my, oops. Oh, I never ran that one. My car.report color. Let's see if that works. I am purple. Okay, great. Good job, car. Let's say my car.wheel count is 18. And then it wants us to, at the bottom of the file, write a line that prints out this sweet ride is sitting on 18 wheels, where 18 is the value returned from the wheel count method. Okay, I can do that. I'm going to put that where 18 is, rather than being hard-coded, it says my car.wheel count. This ride is sitting on 18 wheels. Love it. All right. At the bottom of the file, write a line that creates a second instance of the class car called my second car and sets the wheel count to 2. Okay, this is a good one, so I'm going to say my second car dot my second car is a car dot new. My second car equal dot wheel count is 2. And what I'm going to set inside of there, or what I'm going to do is the same thing. I'm just going to copy this line. And what do you think? Okay, so what are we going to see from this line? This sweet red has 18 wheels, okay. And what are we going to see from this line? 2 wheels, okay. Okay, and why is that? How is that possible? Why is one say 2 and one says 18? Separate instances, and what specific piece of information is being stored or accessed here? The instance variable, and which one? Wheel count, right? Because the adder accessor, at the end of the day, is just defining these methods for us around working with those instance variables. And remember that the instance variables, every instance, every object gets their own individual unique collection of instance variables, right? So my car up here has its own collection of instance variables. We can set one of them to 18. That doesn't affect the instance variables of another instance of car down here, my second car, right? It can have its own with its own wheel count, etc., etc. So kind of things to keep in mind there. When screen appears, can you please keep, yeah. I'll share all of this code up there in a little bit, so don't worry about that. All right, last thing. This one is tricky. Add a method named start. If the car has not yet been started, when the method is called, it should return starting up. But if the car has previously been started, it should return bzzzt, nice try though. You need to create an instance variable, a method, use an if statement, and return a value. Oh my god, so much programming. Okay, what do y'all think about kind of diving into this? If the car has not yet been started, this sounds like we need to track some information. We need to track this information about whether it's started or not. And when I'm thinking about tracking information of an object throughout its life cycle, what's the place where I'm usually going to want to set that up? Initialize. There we go. Okay, cool. So in my case, I might pull up to car. I'm going to define initialize, and I'm going to say at started is false. Car is not yet started. So, and sometimes we'll talk about this. We'll sometimes call this like a default value. Car is not started by default. Sometimes we'll say. This one is tricky. Okay. Then add a method called start. Okay, that sounds easy enough. Def start. If the car has not yet been started, so I'm going to say like if not at started, we want to start it, else, sorry. Okay, so let's think about that sorry case real quick. If the car has previously been started, it should return bzzzt, nice try though. Okay, I can do that. Snagging it. That part's easy enough. Now this first bit, what does that look like? Well, what does it look like to start the car? If at started is false, then starting the car probably looks like at started equals true. So if I have that, if I come down to my car, I could say my second car puts start. That should not do anything. But then the second time, I should see my message, right? My bzzzt. So we see true, car started. Bzzzt, nice try though, couldn't start it a second time, right? And so I know I kind of ran through this because I wanted to get y'all into Mike's next session, but it's kind of our first of many steps on the journey to kind of trying to learn how to channel these kind of general requirements or instructions into specific Ruby code. So let's put that sucker here. Let's put this sucker here. Just buffer. Let's see if this works. Come on, GitHub. Oh, I love it. Emacs, man, what a beast. Okay, I'm gonna let y'all go. Y'all got a session with Mike in 5 minutes. On his, I assume on his Twitch link, although look for instructions. Hopefully, this is definitely a lot of information. I definitely don't expect you to have kind of totally internalized it all right after one 2-hour session, but these are kind of some of the fundamental pieces and mechanics and skills that we'll be kind of developing a lot, especially over the next couple weeks. And hopefully after today, you'll have a much better feeling of like how to dive into some of these command query and mythical creatures exercises. Mike's going to look at that even more, so that'll be kind of coming up in a second here. So we'll see you there.